Hey guys, Ben here from Bort Simsport. I just thought I'd put together a little YouTube video which is a deep dive on my racing simulator that I have at home. Sim racing is something that I've done for well over 20 years. Just always enjoyed racing games, and it's just become something that I've gotten into more and more over the years, and find myself spending a lot of time and money doing because I really enjoy it, and I've found a great community, great teammates. So I thought, I'll put a video together and just share my setup at home. All right, so this is our spare room in our apartment, which is very much dominated by my sim rig. So in our spare room, I use it for a bit of indoor trainer, a bit of storage of my wife's books, and my bike storage, which has my indoor trainer tire in there because of the quarantine restrictions at the moment, so I'm doing a lot of indoor trainer. But what you're here for, the sim rig. So where do I start? Basically the whole chassis itself is an 80/20 T-slot aluminium profile construction that's complete custom design by myself. It started out as an off-the-shelf sort of buy your own plan chassis from Open Sim Racing, company out of Canada. So I bought the monitor side brackets here and the monitor VESA mounts from them, as well as some drawings and a bill of materials to build up the main part of the chassis. But over the last 3 or 4 years, this has taken on a bit of a life of its own. Great thing about 80/20 aluminium profile is you can basically just add as you go, like a massive Meccano set. So I've had all sorts of different iterations here, and I'm actually really happy with how it's turned out right now. The seat is one by a company called Racelogic, which I think they're now called SimCore. They're based in the western suburbs of Melbourne, and this is essentially just a fiberglass knockoff of a Sparco XL, which was nice and cheap. It's not FIA approved, but it's perfect for the sim rig because I don't need any of that. Got triple monitors here. So these are the Asus 326H, I believe. So they're 32-inch curved, 144 hertz. Absolutely love them, and they give me a fantastic field of view in the car, as you can see. What the rig is sitting on top of is they're actually 2 gym flooring tiles. So they're 50mm thick, basically made of recycled rubber, and it's got marine carpet, rubber back marine carpet above and below it. And what that essentially does is it stops all the vibration from my pedals and the wheel force feedback transferring into the floor. So we've got neighbours downstairs and neighbours quite near us in the apartment building. So it just isolates all the vibration, keeps the noise to a minimum. The noisiest thing in my rig are my magnetic paddle shifters. So moving towards the center of the rig, the heart and soul of the rig is the SimuCube 1 HRS Race Cube. So this is made by Hybrid Racing Simulations up in Lismore, New South Wales. So I've got the HRS billet aluminium Miege motor mount. So it's a 20 Newton meter Miege motor, which is an industrial motor that you can see just here, which is driven by its own little PC called the HRS Race Cube. So there's a whole bunch of firmware that basically talks to the wheel and the software and gives me the force feedback. I run a Q1R quick release system where I can just undo the lever and change amongst my various wheels. I've got 2 main ones that I use. This is the one that I've got installed in the rig at the moment, which is my HRS GT8 Momo Mod 30. It's a mouthful, but I had this custom made by Brett at HRS. If you want high-end sim gear in Australia, there is nobody else. He's just exceptional. Great service, second to none attention to detail. It just builds beautiful products and provides excellent service. Ask anybody in the Australian sim community. So there's the emergency stop button for my SimuCube in case something happens in the firmware of the game and there's a bug and it just starts making my wheel go crazy. I can turn that off without doing any damage to myself. I run a Samsung Galaxy tablet here with Joel Real Timing, so the JRT software with a little dashboard application, and this gives me all of my fuel information and my gaps and to drivers, and it turns out to be really useful useful tool in races. And it also helps with doing automatic fuel calculations for races that require a pit stop. Over here underneath the rig are my pedals. So these are Heusinkveld sprint pedals. So there are the ultimates, but these are the sprints, and they're just fantastic. Absolutely love these. So adjustable, really great feel from them. Integrated heel plate. Yeah, just absolutely love these pedals. Just get fantastic feel from them. So I do have some cheap Logitech speakers here, but 99% of the time I am using just my Sennheiser GSP 550 headphones. Like I said, live in an apartment building and yeah, don't love to piss my neighbors off. So if I'm driving cars that were like a rally car or a touring car that requires a stick shifter, I do have Heusinkveld shifter, a sequential shifter as well, and Heusinkveld handbrake. So I've got the heavier of the two elastomers in there, so it requires about 17 kilograms of force to actually pull that one in and actuate it. And the mounting I've got here for the handbrake is actually one that's sort of inspired by Barry Rowland of Sim Racing Garage in the way that he mounted his, and it's definitely, I've had the shifter and handbrake mounted in about 10 different iterations, and yeah, that's definitely the best one I've had. One that I get a lot of questions on any time I post photos on Instagram is my button box. So this is a Derek Spears design Black Max 2, and I essentially just got one of our signwriter friends I designed all of the little button labels myself and got a signwriter to print them up on some vinyl with some adhesive, and was able to put those on there, and it really helps in races where you just at a glance I can see what I need to do and all the commands that I need to press. And over around the back here, just give you guys a quick look at my cable management here. So yeah, I've tried to limit the spaghetti western as best I can with just a little bit of cable management. Got my off-the-shelf gaming PC that I got be about 4 years ago now, and only about 2 years ago I upgraded a few bits. So it's 16 gigabyte of RAM, it's GTX 1080 Ti NVIDIA graphics card, and an Intel i7-7700, which, you know, does push the graphics along in iRacing, which iRacing is about 90% of the racing that I do. I do a little bit of dirt rally just for a bit of fun, but at iRacing I can quite comfortably, on, you know, some nice settings, I can push that along at roughly 200, between 180 200 frames a second here with no tearing. So that's really good. We'll jump straight across after this into a little bit of a closer look on some of my wheels. And this is my Cube Controls Formula Pro wheel. So I use this one for GT style and Formula style cars that, you know, like open wheelers that require a smaller wheel rim, and this style wheel rim. So all of the buttons, when you plug it in, do light up in various colors, which looks fantastic when you're racing. 4 rotary switches in the center, got the thumb rotaries here, got an adjustable dual paddle clutch system on the back. So these are the 2 clutch paddles, which you adjust the bite point using this rotary here. Magnetic hall sensor shifters on the back. Got the fatter option for the grips, and these they just feel fantastic. Really love this wheel. It was handmade in Italy, had it shipped over. Yeah, would really recommend those. It was not cheap, but yeah, I've really gotten my value out of that one. All right, this custom wheel here has a bit of nostalgic value to it as well. This was the first simulator wheel I ever had. So this was built circa 1997. My dad built this from scratch. So this is made of a discarded curtain rod, some aluminium plate, and a few toggle switches and buttons that we got from Dick Smith Electronics, and some rivets and some bicycle foam grip to put together into a simulator I was building for Grand Prix 2. For those of you who are old enough to have played Grand Prix 2. Just kept it because I really love it. And this one here is a circa 1980s Momo rim that came with my first car, my first Tirana, and that was in a few of my cars before I kept it when I sold my cars. And I do occasionally stick a quick release on it and use it for rally and things like that, where you'd need a big wheel. But I just can't bring myself to part with it. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you've got any questions, just ask in the comments. I'll be more than happy to answer them. Till next time.